didn't have to do what they did.
Walter Coke is one of the nearby coke-producing industries in the area, along with ABC Coke. Many steel-producing companies have come and gone in the area as well over the years. The red flag went up about 2 years ago when unsafe levels of cancer-causing chemicals like arsenic and benzoapyrene were discovered at homes and schools. The cleanup began under an EPA order to Walter Coke. Walter Coke says they are not responsible for the contaminants, but are helping to be good neighbors.
It's all good to me. As long as we're getting help, I don't care where it comes from.
The evidence is what's lacking here. We know dangerous levels of toxins are in the soil and in the air based on previous studies by the EPA and the Jefferson County Health Department. But how many families are affected by these toxins and to what degree is a question left unanswered. Also, who's responsible? Is it one company, more than one, maybe even companies that are no longer there? Those are all questions our investigative team at CBS 42 has been working on for more than a year. Now the federal government is apparently tired of playing the guessing game as well and will take over, something neighborhood leaders welcome.
They need testing of their yards. They need the soil. It's just a number of the health issues. Health issues is one of the main issues. So I think with the Superfund coming, some of these concerns will be addressed.
Now, this is only the beginning. It won't be a quick fix, but it's a step residents have told me for months now that they were hoping for. And what's really interesting about all this is that the industry, particularly Walter Coke, says they welcome this news.
So, Sonia, why would the industry want Superfund to come into play here? It seems like that's a big negative.
Well, exactly, because with the Superfund declaration, it means that the government comes in, they test, they can clean it up to their liking, and then they bill the industries.
And also, you know, it seems like this is a very difficult task to kind of connect the contamination to the particular industries.
Well, and particularly in this area, because this area in North Birmingham has been highly industrialized for decades. And Walter Coke has argued for a very long time they should not be the only company that's cleaning it up. So, you know, there's a lot of negotiation still that has to happen, and where the gavel lands on this will, you know, determine, and we'll see what happens. But what we were able to obtain is this letter that the EPA sent to Walter Coke just a few days ago. And in this letter, it says that the EPA is currently investigating the past and current operations of companies located in and around the state. And they also will identify other parties who also may be a source of those releases. For more information on what exactly a Superfund is and to view our Deadly Deception documentary, you can visit our website at cbs42.com.
Police say the 7 people who were found shot to death in a Dallas area apartment Sunday had apparently opened their Christmas gifts, had started cleaning up the wrapping paper, and then they were shot. Although the investigation is still underway, police believe the 7 were related, and they also believe that the shooter is among one of those found dead at the scene. 4 women and 3 men ages 18 to 60 were found in the Grapevine, Texas apartment after police received a 911 call on Christmas Day.
Fire investigators are still trying to figure out what started a fire that killed 5 people on Christmas Day. The flames gutted a home in Stamford, Connecticut. 3 young girls and their grandparents all lost their lives. The fire started just before 5 o'clock Christmas morning. Fire officials say the fire spread so quickly through the Victorian home, which was owned by ad executive Madonna Badger. Trapped inside were Badger's 3 young daughters and her parents.
There probably has not been a worse Christmas Day in the city of Stamford.
Badger's father died in the fire just hours after spending Christmas Eve, we're told, working as Santa Claus at Saks Fifth Avenue in New York City. Because of the extensive damage, it could be days before investigators are able to determine the cause of this deadly blaze.
Well, today marks another day of mourning in North Korea. Its citizens continue to pay their respects to leader Kim Jong-il, who died of a heart attack on December 17th. The body of the controversial dictator is lying in state in a mausoleum. Thousands of citizens and public officials lined up to say their final goodbyes. Some bowed their heads in silent prayers, while others laid wreaths and white flowers in front of the gigantic photograph of the deceased leader. The funeral of Kim Jong-il will be held on Wednesday, December 28th. He will then be laid to rest next to his father, North Korea's founder, Kim Il-sung.
Members of a Walker County church that burned down last week are trying to move forward now. The fire that destroyed Patton Hill Church near Oakman on Tuesday was ruled an accident. The church deacon says it most likely started from faulty wiring. And since they cannot afford to rebuild right now, the 25-member congregation is considering worship sites like the nearby Key Hill Church, which is empty.
We worked through our tragedies, and I can verify that through the tornado we went through, but we work through our tragedies and we pick up and we go on. With God's help, you know, we'll carry on.
Patton Hill Baptist Church is now setting up an account tomorrow at Pinnacle Bank in Jasper for anyone who wants to donate money to help them out. Well, the biggest gift-giving day of the year is now behind us, and chances are you've spent time today playing with some sort of new gadget out there.
And you've also spent plenty of time cleaning up the wrapping paper and boxes that those gifts come in. But be aware, police say that trash could make you a target. CBS 42's Scott Packard joins us live from the newsroom. And Scott, police say empty boxes outside of your home could act as billboards for thieves.
That's exactly what you say, and kind of set the scenario. Say you finally got that new 42-inch LCD TV you really wanted all Christmas long. Yesterday you opened it and got it all set up. You have the cable hooked up, the Blu-ray, and all of that. You toss the box outside to the curb to be picked up. Well, it's that last step police say may just cost you your TV.
Take a stroll through a few neighborhoods the day after Christmas, and chances are you'll notice something similar at each.
We put it out there and probably don't think about it as much as we should.
For Brian Brown, it's sort of a bad habit, something he and his family have done following each and every Christmas he can remember. It's the pile of gift boxes set out by the street for garbage collection.
Don't stack the boxes in front of the house where everyone driving down the street now knows that you just purchased a 52-inch television, because you may get an unwanted visitor.
Most of the big boxes at this house are probably going to be toys.
And because of that, he's not too concerned about crooks looking to score.
They're not marked with big labels. It's hard to think that this pile is going to invite a lot of people in.
Police say what you want to do is take the boxes for the high-end electronic items, the tablets, the TVs. Make sure you crush them, cut them, and basically just break them down so crooks don't know what's outside your home. And then put all that into a trash bag. That way your Christmas wish list doesn't become the bad guy's wish list.
You have to be careful. In some ways, you can't trust everybody, but you want to trust most people if you can.
Be extremely careful of how you dispose of the boxes.
Hopefully, you know, it is a time when neighbors can also be watching out for each other and helping out.
Because sometimes the Grinch isn't finished until a few days after Christmas.
Okay, so the bottom line, cops say just be aware putting that new computer box, that new TV box outside. It may not seem like a bad idea, but they say crooks aren't always dumb. They usually are, but they're not always, and they know what to look for. Live in the newsroom, Scott Packard, CBS 42 News.
All right, thanks a lot, Scott. Coming up on CBS 42 News at 5, it is junkier than any place in the entire world. We'll take a look at how trash is impacting our environment and what can be done about it. That's coming up in today's Smart Woman Report in about 8 minutes.
Yesterday, for Christmas Day, it was rainy all day. I thought it was going to be over.
We need it out of here, Ted.
We need it out of here.
Depressing.
But, you know, some areas in Greene County got 2 inches of rain today.
Wow.
That's a lot of rain, and we do have some more rain moving through the area, and it's going to last for a little while. We'll get some sunshine to close out 2011. I can promise you that. But yes, we have a lot of rain coming through the area tonight. There will be some areas that you'll see some ponding on roadways, so be careful driving. Let's take a live look outside right now. We're looking with our CBS 42 eye in the sky, and it's a little dry right now. It's not dry. Everything's wet because it just rained, but we're having a little